Taliban grants Afghanistan women permission to have education up to university level but must wear hijab. The Taliban has said women will be permitted to work and study to university level, coming amid concerns across the country. While the militant group's takeover of Kabul and a new government established, Afghan residents have been trying to flee in their thousands. Today, August 17th, the Taliban formed a ring around the airport to prevent further people getting in, on controlling panicked crowds with gunfire, Unilad reports. Given the insurgents' treatment of women historically, there have been worldwide fears for their safety under the Taliban's new regime, particularly with reports of prominent Afghan women's doors being marked with paint. However, the group has insisted that women will have the rights to work and study. Speaking to Sky News, Taliban spokesperson Suhail Shaheen said women will be allowed to work and receive education up to university level, adding that thousands of schools remain open following the takeover. He also said women will be expected to wear the hijab but not the burqa, explaining these are not our rules, these are Islamic rules. It is for their security. With regards to those who worked under the President Ashraf Ghani's administration, Shaheen said their properties will be saved and their honor and their lives are safe. This comes after the Taliban declared an amnesty across Afghanistan, appearing to try and allay concerns among citizens desperate to escape. The Islamic Emirate doesn't want women to be victims. They should be in government structure according to Sharia law. Inamullah Samangani, a member of the Taliban's Cultural Commission, said the structure of government is not fully clear, but based on experience, there should be a fully Islamic leadership and all sides should join, he added. This sentiment far differs from the Taliban's rule from 1996 to 2001, when women couldn't leave their homes without being accompanied by a male, couldn't work, and had to cover their faces. Punishments included stonings, amputations, and public executions. Whoa. What is this? Damn. Okay, before I can even say anything on this, I don't even know the history of the Taliban and Afghanistan. So I'm just going to do a little backstory, little context on what is happening right now and what has led to this. So, history of the Taliban. The Taliban, which means students in Pashto language, emerged in 1994 around the southern Afghan city of Kandahar. It was one of the factions fighting a civil war for control of the country following the withdrawal of the Soviet Union and subsequent collapse of the government. It originally drew members from so-called Mujahideen fighters who, with support from the United States, repelled Soviet forces in the 1980s. Within the space of 2 years, the Taliban had gained sole control over most of the country, proclaiming an Islamic Emirate in 1996 with a harsh interpretation of Islamic law. Other Mujahideen groups retreated to the north of the country. Following the September 11, 2001 attacks in the United States by Al-Qaeda, US-backed forces in the north swept into Kabul in November under the cover of heavy US airstrikes. The Taliban melted away into remote areas where it began a 20-year-long insurgency against the Afghan government and its Western allies. The Taliban founder and original leader was Mullah Muhammad Omar, who went into hiding after the Taliban was toppled. So secretive were his whereabouts that his death in 2013 was only confirmed 2 years later by his son. Wow, okay. For me, I think this gives a lot of context because I did not even know about what Taliban was, and then all of a sudden they've taken over. Excuse me, what is going on? And I think this now solidifies the comments that were like, oh, Nigeria could become like Afghanistan, and this just adds more context to it. And I'm like, oh wow, this is a very much, it's too exact, it's too similar to Nigeria's situation. And really and truly, those comments were actually right, because there are so many parallels that we can have with Nigeria's situation and what is going on with Afghanistan in terms of, and it originates from a part of the country that wants to take over again with making Nigeria an Islamic state. And what a key phrase here says, that they proclaim an Islamic emirate in 1996 with a harsh interpretation of Islamic law. The Hizbah in Nigeria, the Hizbah, because those ones, I don't even think some things they do there are even part of the religion, but they use the religion as like an excuse or as a cover to push their own personal ideology. So yeah, that's what it is. And this really gives a lot of context as to what the Taliban is and what's happening. For the fact that the people want to run away, it already shows that it's not a welcome idea, development, or thing. So people are trying to escape the country. People are trying to escape. There have been videos of Afghanistan's jumping on planes. Some people have even fallen off and died. People are literally on the wings of the plane trying to escape. So they understand. So that alone is like, okay, fine, this is definitely not welcome. And it's the audacity that they have to think, oh, we're going to allow women. Listen, it's a choice. It is a choice that women will have to make if they want to go to school. Of course, they want to be educated, fine. But trying to say, oh, because we're allowing women to, going back to the actual title, if we're going to allow women to, have education up to university level, or then we must be very liberal and open. Listen, the people do not care about that. They are trying to escape, and you are trying to basically keep them hostage because you're using gunshots and weaponry to basically intimidate them and make them and instill fear in them. So yeah, if we're granting women the permission, women don't need your permission. But right now they've taken over. Very much scary, and very much similar to the Nigerian situation. And yes, 1000% Nigeria can definitely get to where Afghanistan is. Someone says here, religion of peace. Yes, many Muslims are running away from the religion of peace. They're running away from the country, and these people are expressing harsh interpretations of the religion itself. They're not running from the religion, except they will not be Muslims. Then doesn't make sense. A person forced to practice the religion is not a Muslim by choice, but by force and fear of being killed mercilessly by the practitioners of the religion of peace. If Afghan had their ways, 95% of them will vacate the country and leave Talibans to uphold the religion of peace. Well, that's the whole point. They cannot go. Some cannot even go. Can you even go to school with this kind of atmosphere and concentrate? Like, seriously, all those lecturers, that's nah. It's sad, but it is something has to happen. But the fact is, yes, this totally, I understood the context with the Taliban and its history, and yes, there's the parallels with the Nigerian circumstance is getting a bit too exact. And it's not going to be shocking if we end up there. But what do you think about this? And do not forget to like and subscribe.